Good afternoon, brethren.
Good afternoon.
It's a great pleasure to be among you. I think you agree with me that when we stand up, we sing better.
Yes. Yeah.
And when we stand up, we are more courageous. I thank you for this hymn. Thank you, Sister Eva, for your piano. I can't do that. And thank you, Brother Ralph, for your prayer. Dear brethren, three brothers before me presented Brother Russell, Johnson, and Joey. We got opportunity to hear how courageous they were. They faced the opposition. They were very courageous, and they stood up for Jesus, like we sang not a long time ago. Joshua 1:6 and 7 as well. Be strong and good courage. Brother Gorky put this as a motto text in 1980, and as well we can find more in Manna, December 26. Courage. What is the courage? We can define this as the ability to do something brave out of the motivation of the heart in the presence of danger. Word courage is used as a good courage. That means possibly that courage might be not so good or bad courage. I think we talked a little bit with Sister Eva about good cholesterol and bad cholesterol at the table. It might be like with bad cholesterol and good cholesterol as well. Biblical courage always relies upon supernatural power of God to strengthen and motivate believer to be courageous. In volume 1, E1, God, Brother Johnson presents courage as a secondary attribute of God's character. And he defines this: quality of heart and mind that faces danger, difficulties with fortitude, calmness, firmness, and perseverance. Opposite to the courage, is cowardice, which comes from fear, doubt, lack of trust. Did we, dear brethren, exercise the courage when we were little children? When we crossed the street, when first day in the preschool, first day in school, or many imaginary difficulties we had. But when we grew up, we still need the courage to find a good school, to find a job. Require courage to find a spouse too. Don't you think so? Mr. Alan Greenspan, the previous Fed chairman? I heard the interview with his wife. She said he was so precise with financial matter, but I understood after third times that actually he was proposing. I don't know, maybe lack of courage. Do we need courage in our life? When we don't need it. We don't need it when we are toddlers. When we try do something. We depend on our mothers mostly and the fathers with food, place to sleep. But when we try to make our step, we need encouraging. How many times we've heard, you can do it, one more step, good job. There was no fear, because we trust our parents. And there is a saying that only sky is the limit. But as a children we got many limits. There was the walls, gigantic furniture, humongous table, and we try to see what is on the table. So we climbed on the chair. I was raised in a farm in Poland, around cows, ducks, kitchen hens, and so far, and I was afraid about one monster. That was big rooster. He chased me, and I ran away. I was trying to play brave boy, no success. And we need encouragement. And I got encouragement from my grandfather. He told me, look at this rooster. You are bigger than him. Show him who is the boss. I give you stick. Well, after this, I overcome difficulties. When you, dear brother, and growing up in Christian family in Catholic Poland, you are tested many times. And I did. I was tested too, and I won't be surprised that Brother Ed was testing too, my wife was testing too. There was religious classes. And my school colleague took me for these religious classes. There was a different way of encouraging. Two of them grabbed me by hands and one was pushing me from the back. It was so humorous after years. It reminded me of Polish jokes. How many, because people didn't know to join Communist Party, how many supporters do you need to join Communist Party? Just 3. 2 grabs you by hand and one is pushing you and you are in. Yes, that was our childhood. We, dear brethren, have 2 kinds of courage. We have physical courage, mental, moral, and religious courage. Religious courage is the most valuable. Let's start with physical courage. Is the brave's physical danger, takes ability to avoid danger, not to escape from the danger, but face the danger. We got in Luke 14:21 about the king who with 20 wants to face, with 20,000 wants to face with bigger. Example of Gideon and his 300. First was 32,000, next was 10,000. From 10,000, they were brave, they were courageous. Came to 300, 3%. You, brethren, remember from your history courage of American soldiers during Revolutionary War. There was many killed, many wounded, many heroes to remember. I will bring you some evidence from Europe. September 1st, 1939, at 4:45 a.m., the Second War started. There was a little land in Poland called Westerplatte. 200 soldiers were fighting against 4,000 German soldiers, very well equipped, supported by Navy, Air Force, and many others. The headquarters in Poland ordered them try to keep this space for 6 hours. The help will come. You know, they were fighting 7 days, and finally they surrounded. The commander, Major Suchalski, gave up. He surrendered to Germany because there was no help, no hope for help. What he did, he saved the life of the soldier. The best what you can do. There was not easy decision for leader. I didn't take part in the war, but I was coaching team. So when my team lost, I was trying to convince them, it's not end of the war. There will be another game. We will work harder. But this was very important. Encouragement in this physical courage for the soldiers comes from chaplains, priests who were preaching, encouraging. In Soviet Union was different way. I will give you 2 words and you will figure out by my sign language. The first word is stakan, and the second word is nagan. That means cup of vodka to encourage, and if you are not brave to fight, the political officer will shoot you. This is fake courage. This is false courage. This is bad courage. I have something for brothers, not for sisters, to go back to your memory, because sisters were not fighting. Do you remember school fights? Do you remember the tiny, short guy who always started fights? And we were worried, why he's so courageous? Well, later on we knew he got 3 brothers in the school, and the brothers got a lot of friends. So he got support. The same is with religious leaders. If they have support, with religious courage, if they have support from somebody, from the leader, they can do knowing that someone is behind them. Another courage is the mental courage. I think the mental courage we may define like this is the quality that bravely grapples with mental difficulties, secular or religious, and all great thinkers and inventors have to possess this courage. Brethren, if I will ask a question, is anybody among us who is not using computer? Please raise your hand. No. I will use one story. Microsoft chairman, but not Bill Gates, Steve Ballmer, the sun is revolving over the earth. And Copernicus did something different. He proved it. So if you sometimes will go to Katowice, there is the planetarium when it's the writing. 2 men who stopped the sun and moved the earth. That's Polish people did to Nicolaus Copernicus, give him thanks for the courage. Galileo Galilei, he was supporter of Copernicus. He invented telescope. He was talented astronomer. Arrested by Inquisition, spent many times in the prison. He was very known from his quotation, and yet it moves. That's mean error. And after many years, in 1979, Polish Pope officially stated something which followed. Galileo was right. Inquisition had acted in good faith, but was wrong. It's hard to admit there was wrong after so many years. The third kind of courage is the moral courage. The courage operates where it's easy to do wrong and it is hard to do good. Moral courage prompts sometimes young people to do very courageously. And there is example on one boy who showed courage by coming home early. And he stated, I will not disobey and dishonor my mother, even if it cost me my friendship. Dear brother, you probably heard about movie The Schindler List. Since you know that, I won't talk about this. Did you hear about Irina Sendler? Some, not everybody, so I will tell about her. She was a social worker, Polish lady, working during the Second War in a ghetto. It was part of the Warsaw when the Germans put all the Jews together. She saved 2,600 infants. She smuggled them from the ghetto. She was captured. She was tortured. She was asked where the location are of those children. She got released, all of them hidden somewhere in secret place. She was sentenced to death. But during the war, money works too. Some Germans were bribed, so they let her go. I don't know how it's happened, I didn't read all the story, but finally, after the war, she was recognized with the award Righteous Among the Nation, but Israeli reward. She was also rewarded by Golden Cross of Merit granted in 1946. She was awarded by Order of the White Eagle. This is very, very high Polish reward. She was nominated to Nobel Prize in 2007. She didn't get it. I will read one sentence. Irina was ignored, Nobel went to Al Gore. Vice President Al Gore for global warming. Somebody decided that this is more important. Religious courage is the highest of courage. Many noble Christians got this courage. In Hebrew 11 we read about heroes of faith. It's impossible to name, but Samuel, David, 3 young boys, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, many reformers. With the reformers, There's many of them, but I will mention Martin Luther. We know that 500th anniversary of Martin Luther was recently. Brother Jack was in Wards. William Tyndale, the man who translated Bible into English. First time Bible was printed in English, printed in Worms, Germany, because the English printing company were out of ink or out of courage. I don't know, probably out of courage. But Germans did it because they did for Martin Luther. Religion courage was also needed during the hard time in the Second War. We got from Sister Kathy on the testimony, the statement. Many were sent in prison. Many Christians were sent to prison during the war, to consecration camps. War was long, from 1939 to 1945. But there is the saying, friend in need is friend indeed, and we, Polish nation, received the help from America. You can probably recall UNRRA, the organization who helped. There was many Bibles sent to Poland from many Christian organizations, from individual people. Dear brother, during this time was something after war, what was called Iron Curtain Cold War. There was division between communist countries and capitalist countries. When Americans got, let's go west, that was a long time ago. When Eastern European wants to go west, that was their dream. American got different dream. House, the roof over the head. That was the different dream. I don't know if any of us, of you, brethren, experienced this, crossing this border with Germany. There was a Berlin Wall built in 1961, 302 observation tower, 259 dogs, 20 bunkers, 136 people died when they crossed. There was one part of the good Germany and another one was called GDR. Sometimes somebody may spell German Democratic Republic, but I do different. German Dictatorship Republic. Communists, dear brethren, didn't respect religion. There was many difficulties. Even if the brethren want to go and serve in medical courts in other situations, they didn't respect this. You probably know the family on Evanses, John and Stephanie and Eugene. They were sent to Siberia. I've read the book John wrote. There was hard time. But can you imagine that they had class in Siberia? They got Bible student class. They meet together. I think that Soviet Union was probably the hardest country for the Christians after war. And if we can understand that Tyndale smuggled Bible, it's hard to understand why brethren and other people had to smuggle Bible to Soviet Union. There was no Bible. There was no literature over there. The brethren smuggle to this country literature. They have to do it in very secret ways, covered somewhere between food and clothes and many things. That was really hard for them. Is it the need for courage for the Christian's life? Of course, there is needed. And God sometimes let righteousness to be a base that we may uplift it. He lets the holiness to be opposed that we may wage war on it. The courageous Christians got enemies. 3 enemies: world, flesh, and Satan. I don't want to spend more time on this because you, brethren, know about it. And courage may have uses and as well as the abuses. Some uses of courage is to function courage to be enabled and properly face danger. Next use might be to gain the victory, to protect the weak. Courage is needed. To encourage the brethren, somebody who is in hard situation and is weak. Defend the fellow soldiers. We are soldiers, like we sang. Stand up, stand up. The courage needs to be cultivated. There is 4 stages of the courage. There is growth, first, strengthening, balancing, and crystallizing. When we do not practice this, the courage may be lost. It's like if we are, let's say, involved in an accident, we can't use our hands later on, we have to go to physical therapy and they help us because we are not using our muscles, they do not work. The courage can be destroyed when we do not exercise. Where is timidity of the courage? Where is the cowardice? We need the courage to the same extent like fishes need the water. Brother Ed mentioned salmons, they go upstream. The only fishes do not swim, they are dead fishes. I would like to quote Henry Truman about the courage. America was not built on fear. America was built on courage, on imagination and unbeatable determination to do the job at hand. God is encouraging us in many ways. God encouraged Brother Russell but not revealing him what the effort will take the photodrama of creation. Let's quote. Brother Russell will tell much better than me. God kindly veil our eyes as respect the amount of labor connected with the drama had we foreknown the cost of the time, money, and patience necessary from the start, we would never begin it. But neither did we know in advance the great success that would attend the drama through the nearly 8 million people in the United States and Canada have already heard the glorious message from the Word of God, a precious message that they will never forget. Also, that other hundreds of thousands in other lands are hearing in their own tongues wonderful words of life. I can't give you exact number, but I think that cost about all his money, what he got for photodrama. There was really very, very big amount of money involved, but was very successful. Dear brethren, encouraging one another is very important. We as a Christian are living among the people. We are light in the world, like it's stated in the Bible. And that's what I will tell I got from Brother Alex Wayne. If candle is shielded by the courage, giving more light. Giving more lights when the courage. So I wish to all of us to be courageous and be winners and be overcomers. And what we can do, we can encourage each other, because this is good way to do, and this is way of showing good courage. And may the Lord add blessing to this word spoken by me. And by the way, God encouraged me to come to America by being naive. I saw that after a year I will speak perfect English. As you see evidence, 23 years gone and still broken. Need to wait for the kingdom. Probably will be Polish in kingdom.